Hi everybody, it is Dr. Quinn here and I'm taking a forward look at week 3. You're about to start it, starting tomorrow, hopefully by the time you see this. And if you have any questions after you review this video, just reach out and let me know. I like to navigate via content and then I go into week 3. You may see a different date on this, but just note that there'll always be dates posted to help keep track of the week that we're in. But in week 3, we've got our main sections as normal, the learning resources, the discussion, and then the submitted assignment. So you've got 3 pages on your learning resources, so don't forget to toggle forward. There's a lot of links here, but some of them are just examples of quick start guides. That's not due this week, but it's like a forward look because your writing assignments 1 through 3 are related. Writing assignment 1's the personas, the different range of people that you're imagining have strengths and weaknesses that will be using your writing assignment 2 instructions. Writing assignment 3 is to take the big instructions and condense it to 1-page document. So we're going to give you some professional look at quick start guides this week and talk about the 80-20 rule when you go over that. Okay, we've also got the basics of print document design. This is not a graphic design course, but I think it's important to think about accessibility in a document and visual accessibility in a document, not just the way it's phrased, but the way things are visually organized. Okay, we've also got notes on how to document tables and figures in APA 7th edition and so on and so forth. That's just page 2. Page 3, more tutorials on those PARC principles that we've already started practicing on. So that's the learning resources in a nutshell. Our discussions are, you're going to take a look at some of the quick start guides. And let me forewarn you, those quick start guides are wildly involved. Yours are going to be quite basic. We just want you to see how they operate in the world, how they are visually organized, horizontal or left to right, or flow chart, what have you. So you get a sense of if you were going to, if you're aiming for a technical writing career, for example, the level of detail that you'll be working on later on in your career. Okay. So that's what that's about. So you can see the mention of the 80-20 rule and some of those quick start guide texts that are embedded in your learning resources. And then we're going to talk about writing assignment 4 that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So these discussions are not about what's due this week. It's about what's coming up so that we're laying the groundwork. Okay. So just take a look at the report to the supervisor overview, and you're just going to get a chance to talk and share ideas with me and your classmates. And that's that for the discussions this week. It's very forward looking. Now, the assignment, I'm going to go in a slightly different way so I can actually open up the assignment for you. So let's go into the set of instructions. Let's see, view submissions, edit assignment. Editing the assignment allows me to open the PDF easier, but I'm not actually going to edit it, I swear. Okay, here's the PDF. And I've gone over this document with you in some form because we actually went over the student sample paper. But writing assignment 2 is to take those personas and the website that you chose that was a local institution and to create your document for that. Your document's going to have, there's no word count, but for the most part, right? For the entirety of the document, there's a word count for how you incorporated the personas. We know 100 to 200 words. But there's 2 main parts to this document. There are the instructions, and then there's a separate section. I'd bump it to the next page. Look at the student sample. You had access to it last week for sure, or probably week 1, right? Where you had the opportunity to take a look at the Banana Blossom Cafe. So it's the instructions, and then how did you accommodate the personas you created, right? So we can see how like step 7 accommodated Julia, step 9 accommodated William, and step 8 or the note below step 8 accommodated Carlos, that kind of thing. With your 8 or more steps, you need at least 8 graphics. Step 1, graphic 1, step 2, graphic 2, that kind of thing. All of your graphics are, it's not going to be like a clip art, but it's going to be a screenshot from the website. And you can take a screenshot. This is how I do it. Let me show you. I go into snip. I don't know if I could spell snip. And I use my snipping tool. I choose new. And then you can always take a screenshot. You'll notice that I just took a partial screenshot. In addition to taking a screenshot, you can, in your screenshots, you can use editorial tools in your document. And of course you can make them much fancier than this, but there's no requirement to that. But you can edit the images, you can zoom in, you can highlight, whatever it is to draw as long as it looks professional, it's not overly done to draw your reader in. Okay. So let me show you examples of this. You'll see examples in the writing assignment. And the graphics should be labeled. You see how, here's an example. Step 5, it starts with the imperative, select, choose file, and you've got the label figure. It says figure, it has the number, it has a title, and you can even see notes below those images. So these steps are quite brief. They don't have to be long and belabored. You want to start with the imperative verb, select, click, download, open, choose, pay, that kind of thing. Keep in mind that the website must be for a regional or local organization. Again, I'm a big fan of like the cafe or the boutique that's small and independent because they don't have the resources to build these types of documents. We're trying not to reinvent the wheel. National chains are not allowed for this assignment. If I see a national chain, I'm going to ask you to resubmit and I will not grade it. That's for your benefit, right? So you get the opportunity to do it. But now that you've gotten all of these warnings between draft and final, that my understanding is that we're on the same page. And because we worked on the discussion board and I gave everybody feedback on choice, that this isn't a concern for any of you, right? Okay. Let's see. So there's some of those recommendations on topic selection, the 8 steps, a graphic, at least 2 notes. Notes could be the note, Marco Pizzeria does not accept Discover. Note, your selections will be timed out in 5 minutes. Or something like that, like a general note. No, we take cybersecurity seriously, that kind of thing. It's not embedded in the step. It's separate from it, but it's very close. It has proximity to what's going on in that step, right? You'll start with a title. You'll have an overview or introduction. Trust me, this is a short paragraph of a couple of sentences. This is not long. Look at the banana blossom sample. Number all the main steps. 1, 2, 3 is fine. Do not number the notes. Start with the imperative. I think that that's really going to help you. Let's see. Description of how the instructions accommodate personas. Each of your personas has at least one pain point that's different from everyone else's. That's why when I was giving feedback and when I look at your final versions of the personas, I'm focused on the variety to help you with this section of the assignment. Okay. Then you've got some links for help. Note, you will write a first draft. That first draft is going to be due by Saturday of week 3. So depending on the date of it, it's going to be due by Saturday. If you get it in by Saturday night, I will be able to make sure that I get feedback by Sunday night because the feedback takes me time. That then you will have at least another 48 hours to turn around from draft to final. So that's going to be the main deadline is going to be Sunday and the final submission is going to be Tuesday. That will be very explicitly stated in the assignment itself. Now, let's go to the assignments rubric. All right, so here is the assignment rubric. When you click on the assignment in the assignment section of Leo, you'll see that PDF that I just went over with you there, and then you will see how my contract is to grade you. 8 or more steps, 10 points. So that's a nice gimme. List of steps. Do you start with the imperative verb, which is my preference? Click, download, open, destroy, whatever imperative verb, start with that and be consistent. That your steps are numbered and that they provide clear instructions. You don't want them to be too wordy. You want them to be consistent from step to step and you want them to describe exactly what's happening in the actual step. Do you have those 2 notes? That's 10%. Did you provide an overview, right? That an opening blurb of a couple of sentences with a title. Do you have at least 8 graphics? So far, this is extremely very specific to the assignment overview. This one's important, and this is where I notice a lot of students lose points. Not a ton, but a couple here and there I think can make a difference. Graphics must be aligned. So remember those park concepts? Aligned means if your graphics are on the left margin, they should all be on the left margin. If your graphics are centered, they should all be centered. I don't think you should have right aligned graphics. I think that's awkward. And that's rare. I would not do that. Your graphics need to be labeled. Figure 1, Figure 2, Figure 3, Figure 4. They need to be original screen captures, and I showed you how to do that at the beginning of this video. They need the label with the word figure and number and a title. Now, as a note, if you have sub-steps, like when I went over the student sample for writing assignment 2, go back to week 1 discussions. I've got a video on that. I think it was in week 1 discussions. If you have multiple sub-steps, like step 6, sub-step A, sub-step B, and both of those sub-steps have images, it should be figure 6A, figure 6B. I think it's really nice for consistency's sake to have all the numbering under each step align with that step number. And of course you want to say figure 3, opening the website, figure 4, submitting payment. You want to give it a title. Okay. Document design. This is sort of where those park concepts come in, and you'll notice that it's not worth a heck of a lot. 5 total points on an assignment, that is 120. Okay. So it's worth like 1 or maybe 2% of your assignment grade, but we're practicing here. Is there enough white space? You don't have all of the steps smushed on top of each other. Do you add a little bit of extra white space between the end of one image and the beginning of the next step? So that's white space. And then proximity is, do you keep your step title and image on the same page? Keeping things that are related in close proximity to one another. That would satisfy the proximity grade. Language choices. Did you grammar check? Did you spell check? Does this read professional? Because remember, technical writing is about precision. It's not about being wordy. It's not about being verbose. It's about being accurate and accessible. And a lot of grammar errors can confuse readers and can take them out of the instruction steps, right? So that's where language choices come in. Make sure you properly spell and grammar check the text for sure. Reading it out loud will help you with flow and with comma use as well. If you want to practice this with me, by all means. And if you post this by Saturday night, then I'll get a chance on Sunday to be able to give feedback. If I'm noticing any grammar notes, you get feedback ahead of final submission and grading. Finally, the description of the personas is, this is where a lot of students lose points because they forget to do this part. They write beautiful instructions, but they forget to have a section, put it on a new page in the same file. Just click insert page break and then describe very specifically. Don't just say Jennifer was accommodated when. Say Jennifer was accommodated in step 3, right? This doesn't have to be super long. It's 100 to 200 words, but be specific. And that's how you're going to be graded. So if you want to go over any of this with me, set up a time to conference this week. I look forward to working with you all. I'm excited to see your personas and then your instructions.